Oh, baby, that's a lot of iPhones right there. It is every iPhone 12, iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro. It's all the colors because you need to see them all compared so you can make up your mind about which one's the best, which one you want. Believe it or not, I've got even more stuff here. I have also the MagSafe charger. I have the 20-watt power brick. I've got some cases as well from Latercase, the thinnest case you're gonna put on your iPhone 12. I've also got third-party power bricks from Anker as well, a secondary option to Apple's power brick. Since you don't get one in the box this time around, you can get a 20-watt charger that's even smaller than what Apple is selling for less money than what Apple is selling. So more on that in a moment as well. And then one more thing from Latercase, because yes, these displays still scratch. Here I have the uncompromising screen protector, new product category for Latercase, made with Gorilla Glass. This is gonna protect your precious investment. It's a 2-pack. You can add it to your order, so check that out in the description as well. All right, so we got the pros, we got the regulars. What do we have for colors? Let's see, what do they call them all? We got blue, we got white, and red and green. You don't get the fancy names with the regular iPhones. It's just, I mean, it's just blue, red, green, white, and black. However, if we switch over to the Pro model, we get into the fancy names. All right, maybe not that one. That's gold. How about graphite? That's pretty fancy. And then what about Pacific Blue? I think it's gonna be a favorite for some people right there, Pacific Blue. In fact, I think we're actually gonna do the Willy Blue color for Latercase as well, so that's gonna be a nice little match right there. And then we also have the silver. So graphite, silver, Pacific Blue, and gold in the Pro model. How about we kick off this unboxing with, oh, I don't know, the blue, the regular iPhone 12 blue. And so as you know, I mean, with the Apple unboxing experience, it's so special. And for me this time around, and I know it's a polarizing kind of topic, the whole charging situation that Apple is going with here in 2020, but it has allowed for this extremely sleek packaging. I think they say it's 70% smaller than the previous version. So if you pick up a power brick, your very own power brick, you already have a power brick, or you pick up a new power brick, well, you're not gonna have to be encumbered in this package itself. This one is gonna get to remain very sleek. So I'll crack this one real quiet. Shh. Oh, baby. Now, obviously you've recognized here I have many iPhones. So yes, you guessed it correctly. I will arrange a giveaway very shortly on the channel. So make sure to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss that. Here we go. We lift the top. Oh, that's a blue. That's a blue right there. I'll tell you what, you see the cutout on the top of the packaging to make way for that camera unit. Now this is it's a whole new design. I know I've handled some of the models, but not the real thing yet. And let me tell you, it's a throwback to the previous version, but it feels refined and it feels new. And I think that's what a lot of users are looking for with the next generation iPhone. People were, you know, waiting for an all new model potentially to upgrade. Then you add to it the 5G aspect, and maybe Apple's gonna sell a few of these. Look at that blue color, interesting. In photos, to my eye, this looked a little brighter. I'm not, and this is slightly more muted, this blue, but it could just be my environment. To be honest with you, it's probably to my taste, it looking a little more muted from what it did originally in pictures. All right, looking around the device, we have our typical little slider here for silencing the tones of the phone. We have volume up, volume down over here. On the other side of the unit, we have our power switch, elongated power switch. Maybe one day that will also house a fingerprint scanner to go with Face ID. As you know, in 2020, many people wearing masks. Some had hoped to see that on this model, maybe next time around. Now let's go ahead and remove this little cover right here. Very nice. And we'll go ahead and hit the power button real quick. Now the other interesting thing, the magnets that are now installed on the back of the device in a circular fashion around the Apple logo, which will interface with this little MagSafe charger. Now, it's important to note with this charger, it does not ship with a power brick. So you will still need to bring your very own power brick to the party, even if you go with this magnetic wireless charger. The other thing I should note that this does work through cases, and it works especially well through the Latercase, which is a crazy thin Kevlar case, which actually feels a lot like the phone itself when it's installed. In other words, it doesn't change the shape. It's about as thin as you can do with this really amazing material, Kevlar. The only thing you're gonna get inside the package is this USB Type-C to Lightning cable. And this is another thing some had hoped for, to potentially see Type-C in this device. And since it's not there, the question now is whether or not the next version of iPhone could potentially be portless, seeing as how long they've resisted USB-C on both sides of the cable. However, with wireless charging and their push towards wireless, I'm not sure how big of an issue that is. So it's just a cable, a phone, and a SIM tool, and a tiny bit of paperwork. It is a very simple unboxing, certainly. All right, now before I get to all the other phones, I do want to check out the power brick and MagSafe situation. So I have this package from Anker. Shout out to Anker actually for sponsoring this video. They've even got a deal for you guys if you pick up their power brick. This tiny little brick at the top right here is 3 times faster than the previous version Apple power brick. Look at that. Featuring IQ3 PD technology, they were able to pack 20 watts into this tiny little brick. So it feels like your Apple 5-watt adapter. And the crazy part is this thing is under $20, plus there's an extra discount because you're an Unbox Therapy viewer. So if you need to pick up a power brick to go with your phone, don't go for anything less than 20 watts. Pick this one up right here and catch a crazy deal on one of the best reviewed bricks that's on Amazon right now. So check the description for that. And here's the best part. The thing is substantially smaller than Apple's own power brick, which they're selling for 20 bucks. And you've probably seen this before. It's the same rough structure as their previous 15-watt power brick. So you tell me what's better. Those are both 20 watts. I think it should be obvious which one I'm going to take. It's going to be the tiny little Anker device. I mean, that is pocketable. Imagine 20 watts in a tiny little package like that. Check the description to pick yours up. To go with your iPhone or any other device for that matter, 20 watts. They're claiming that it's capable of 53% charge in about 30 minutes, the Anker Nano. All right, now let's talk a little bit more about magnets before I get to the other colors. So this is the MagSafe charger that everyone's talking about. It will slap onto the back of your device nice and easily. And I know people have some questions about how this thing will operate. And I did show it off in a recent video. However, I'm going to test it out now that I have the iPhone 12 here as well. And so, I mean, there you have it. It's pretty straightforward stuff. And this is the design they've gone for. For what reason? Well, I think because it allows you to continue to use your phone while you're charging, even if you're on wireless. Now, it's not going to be quite as fast as a wired charger. This is going to be capable of delivering 15 watts. But you're still going to need a power brick over the 5 watts that you may already own in order to take advantage of the full 15 watts the wireless is capable of. Now, Apple put out their own cases, ones like this, in order to interact with the MagSafe adapter, but you don't have to be stuck using just these Apple cases. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of them. They tend to get dirty. I mean, this one, it hasn't even been in the studio very long, and check out the dirt and the grime and all that. So I just got the prototype in today for the iPhone 12 Latercase, which maintains the sleekness of the iPhone 12, and it works flawlessly with the magnetic charger. It's so thin that the magnet still makes a nice grip on the back of your device, and the other MagSafe accessories will work through it too, where with other third-party cases, they're not going to be able to do that. So anyway, that's a kind of cool little bonus with the Latercase and the Kevlar material interacting with the MagSafe products. All right, so that's the blue model. Why don't we switch over to a Pro now? How about I look at, oh, I don't know, the silver unit. This is a 128 GB version. I'll be quiet for a moment. Oh yes, very nice. Now, obviously you notice the box is quite a bit different here. We have white versus black for the Pro model, and they're different devices. Obviously the Pro model adds that extra camera module, a slightly different look. I'm noticing already this blue model is picking up some pretty significant fingerprints because, well, it's a glossy finish. It's a glass finish. However, on the Pro model, it's a little less evident because it has this kind of brushed or slightly more matte finish. Now, on the white model, that is even more protective against fingerprints. However, the edge of the device might be a different story because this is made out of stainless steel and creates a slightly heavier device as well. And I know it looks good, but that is also, of course, going to attract a few fingerprints. Although, as you can see, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's a very flashy look to it. So let me remove this piece. And yeah, actually, you know what? It does. It does get a bunch of fingerprints on it. On this model with the stainless steel coloring. Let me see how this one works out. The case, that is perfect as well. Now, I should also mention that the case will come in a Cyber Edition with the full coverage in the camera area, but since this is a prototype, it's not showcasing it, so you will have cutouts for the separate modules, including the LiDAR on the final version of this particular case. So the white model here, I kind of like this brushed look to it. I think it would probably be my preference over the standard model fingerprint magnet. However, this blue color might be a little more to my taste than a white phone. Beyond the stainless steel exterior and the extra camera module and the slightly different surface on the back, otherwise you're talking about a very similar experience here. Now, let me just, this is kind of an interesting finding. The Pro model is slightly grippier with the surgical grade stainless steel. This aluminum frame on the non-Pro is actually a bit slippery by comparison. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Anyway, the other components inside the box are exactly the same. Spending the extra money on the Pro is not gonna get you any extra accessories. All right, let's go back to the non-Pro side. Why don't we check out the red model? It's, of course, product red. A portion of the proceeds go to product red. And I've heard some comments that this thing is not really red, and they're kind of right. That is not red. It's almost like a coral. It's kind of an interesting choice. Product red in the past has been really punchy red. This is not the case this time around. And you do have the little product red designation in this location down here. Product red coloring around the side as well, which is a slightly different tone from the back. This is more red, the aluminum around the outside compared to the back panel, which is sort of shifting a little bit more pink. This is also interesting. Inside the package with the paperwork, we get a little product red extra. Oh, and I missed this on the other model. There is an Apple sticker hidden in there, a single Apple sticker to fit into this particular unboxing experience. All right, back to the Pro side. Oh, guys, also be careful with the screens on these things. I have already seen tweets on my timeline of people scratching these things simply by placing them near another device. So be very careful. I know Apple said it has the ceramic coating, and that may do something for drop protection, but everything I'm seeing online right now is that this thing is, when it comes to scratches, it's a little bit weak right now. So definitely be careful with it, or go ahead and install something like this, a screen protector. This one, what we worked on, is getting it as flat as possible. One of the beauties of this generation of iPhone, it has a super flat display, so it makes installing a Gorilla Glass screen protector really easy to do. So we worked on the fit and ease of installation, and this actually comes with 2 screen protectors. So if you screw one up, you throw the other one on there, and you're protected. All right, back to the Pro side. This is the gold model, 512 gigabytes. I like the little gold accent on the front of the box, gold Apple logo. That's the attention to detail right there. Now, it's subtle. I'll tell you what, it is subtle, but man, this thing is coming off like jewelry right now. You see the SIM card tray, surgical grade stainless steel, but it's got a little more coloring, a little more pigment to it. Same thing goes on the back. It's subtle though, as you can see. It almost looks like a white phone, but there's a little bit more to it. You see the difference there. That is white versus gold, and I'll show you the sides as well. So let's go ahead and just peel. Perfect. Add gold to the pile. All right, we are almost halfway through here. Back to the non-pro. This is the white. So we're gonna actually get to do a white comparison. The 12 versus 12 Pro. Interesting. That has a kind of a pinkishness to it once again. That's strange. So this white feels more like a pure white. This white has some sort of pinkish undertone. Very strange color decisions here from Apple. I'm gonna put that right below so maybe you can see the difference. Also, something interesting here, on the white model of the non-Pro, they go ahead and put, have the mirrored Apple logo. Here it's so subtle. You barely even see the Apple logo, in fact, on the white model Pro. All right, fine. How about we put this over there? Back to the Pro side. Oh, is this going to be the one for me? Probably. So this is the Graphite model. And, I just like those tones. I like to keep it simple. I like the dark tones. So this is probably the one I'll slip the SIM card into. I'm guessing maybe Pacific Blue. Let's take a look. Nah, it's probably got to be this one. It's probably got to be this one. So this reminds me a lot of the previous generation Pro model. So it not only changes, of course, the color of the back plate, it changes the color underneath the camera cutout, so the actual camera units themselves become slightly less pronounced. They kind of blend in a little nicer. And then the edge here has the darkest of the bunch for the surgical so far, but also, of course, the biggest fingerprint magnet as well, which kind of kills the vibe ever so slightly. Still, that would probably be my choice of the bunch. Since I'm going to put a case on it anyways, not such a big deal. That almost has a little bit of greenishness as well. I know it's all very vague what I'm saying here, and maybe or maybe not, it shows up on the video itself, but this almost has a little of last year's greenishness to it. Very interesting. All right, what do we have here? This is the green model. This is another color which has been a little bit controversial online. People saying, what type of green is that? Kirk was calling it Easter green. It's a sort of a minty green, maybe. It's hard to pinpoint what you'd call it. It's a soft green, maybe like a pastel green, but they just call it green. And as you can see there, it's kind of unique amongst the bunch. It's close to white, I guess, out of these. And when you look at it from the front, you actually pick up the green frame quite a bit. Same goes for the red model. Of course, as you get into the darker units, you pick up the frame around the front side a lot less. And then the Pro models, you just see that shimmer because of the surgical grade stainless steel. These do feel more premium immediately because of that stainless steel. It does feel different in the hand compared to the aluminum. And the weight of the device overall is a little bit different. All right, last one on the Pro side, and a possible contender for my ultimate choice here compared to the Graphite model. This is the Pacific Blue, a dark blue. This model is a 512 gig as well. Maybe it gets the edge for that. So here we go. Ooh, all right. That's a tough call right there. Graphite versus Pacific Blue. It might be a tie for me. However, I have to consider when I go ahead and slap the case on which is the better look. And I think the Graphite is just, the Graphite just meshes better. Now, I know this is going to have full coverage, but the Graphite, even on the sides over here, it's called Graphite. It's going to mesh better with my case of choice. So, and if I'm not going to use a case at all, if I want to roll like that, then this Pacific Blue is probably my favorite of the bunch. It's subtle, but it's there. You know that it's blue, and in certain lighting, the blue pops off a little bit more. And the surgical grade aluminum around the outside in blue, it's just, it has a little bit of specialness to it, so it's worth considering as well. All right, the very last one of the bunch, It's black. Regular iPhone 12 in black. It'll be a popular choice just because, oof, that was a little aggressive. Every day you can use it, not ever get bored of it because it's a classic choice, classic selection. However, this one is super glossy, so get ready for fingerprint town on the black model. Actually, I'm gonna be kind of boring here and tell you that if I was gonna pick up the regular 12 and not the Pro, I'd probably be picking up the black model as well. So anyway, so there you have it. That is every single iPhone 12 that's currently available unboxed in one single video. All right, it's time to pick my personal iPhone out of the bunch. Of course, you know I got to slip the SIM card in, do the latest Apple experience, shift away from Android that one time per year. So it's not going to come as a surprise to you. My selection is right over here. It's going to be the Graphite iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm going to boot this up. I'm actually going to install a screen protector real quick and then also slap a case on, rig it up exactly as I would. So let's go ahead and run the setup. You got to appreciate Apple's default background there, wallpaper, that diminishes the notch very significantly. Now, I do kind of notice the fact that we're dealing with a 60 hertz display. I wish they would have done 120 at least in the Pro models, but with the 5G and the slenderness, I mean, they worked so hard on the slenderness of this device. So I kind of get having to make some compromises. Your battery can't be as big, and therefore you have to make some choices about 5G versus, let's say, 120 hertz, at least for this generation. So I do notice the 60 hertz thing a little bit. However, I'm sure I could get used to using 60 again. I've used 60 for so long, so you see how that goes. But scrolling does look better at higher refresh rates. No one is going to dispute that. It's a question of how much better. We have a beautiful OLED display here. And even though this has a fairly large screen, the whole thing, well, there's some confidence in holding it because of that flat edge. It gives you slightly more grip than it just stands out on your fingertips compared to a curve. It might be, it's comfortable. It might be a little less comfortable than having the curve there, but there's some extra confidence that comes from having those rigid edges. All right, now, as mentioned earlier, this particular display, yes, they put the ceramic coating on there and all the rest of it, but then I started to see the posts coming up of people saying, hey, you might want to be careful with that display because some people already got scratches on them. You don't want to do that with your brand new phone, especially if you spend this kind of money. So I'm going to go ahead and do the full rig on this one and show you the process as well. It's not hard. You don't need to be intimidated. So this screen protector is made with Gorilla Glass. So it actually kind of feels like you're just touching the phone display. It doesn't have that tackiness to it like some other screen protectors. It feels like glass. It is glass. All right, so inside the package, it's 2 of the screen protectors. We got some wipes to keep the display clean and some dust removal stickers. Plus, there's a microfiber in there as well. You may or may not need to use it depending on if your phone is brand new. You probably want to install one of these shortly after purchasing your phone. And the cool thing, I mean, I'm really proud of these screen protectors because there's so many bad ones out there. The cool thing about this one, I'm telling you right now, you do not even notice that it's on there because of the combination of the design work from Apple to do this really flat screen, no curves around the edges, and the material in use on this particular screen protector, you just can't feel it. You just can't even feel that it's there. So it's really just a bonus for you. Let's go ahead and apply it now. So you get this little red tab here. It is very straightforward. Just peel off the red tab. That's the back side. Grab the 2 wings. Just drop it on. You draw a line down the middle. Starts to fill out the sides. You peel off the top layer like this. And boom. Glass on glass. It's hardly noticeable. It's barely there. And then what you want to do immediately after, you just take your microfiber, and if you do have any tiny little bubbles, which I don't think I do on here, but if you do, you just kind of push them to the edge. It's amazing. It's the easiest to install that I've seen. Like I said, I haven't been a huge screen protector guy in my life, but then I saw this one and the implementation on the iPhone 12, and it converted me. So that's why we have it as a Latercase product. And as you can see on the install, around the earpiece, like I'm no professional at this, but like check it, you can't even see it. And then if you do slap this on, that even adds to it, because now you can come right to the edge and you never even feel it. But now you have the scratch protection. What am I talking about scratch? I'm talking about scratch protection. See, but that's just a knife, but you get the idea. It's a little bit of extra security. If this thing gets messed up, it's no big deal. You got an extra one. If your whole main display gets messed up, that's the rest of your life with that particular device. So anyway, that's how I'm gonna have mine rigged up. It is the graphite color, as you can tell, and it's fully protected and ready to go. Yet it still feels like an iPhone 12. All right, so this is my pick out of the bunch. That's my rig. It is the Graphite 12 Pro. I'm gonna stick my SIM card in. It's that one time a year where I get to use an iPhone a little more extensively. The rest of the year is filled with so many Android releases. Anyway, let me know down in the comments which model you would go for. Would it be the Graphite iPhone 11 12 Pro, the white model? Would it be the Pacific blue? Could it be the gold of this bunch right here? Or would you go for the regular iPhone 12? I think Willie Doo was saying he prefers the value point. And there your options are black, of course product red, which looks a little bit pink, the white model, the blue, regular blue, not Pacific blue, fingerprint blue, or the Easter green, pastel looking green color. Let me know down in the comments which one you would pick. And yes, of course, I'm gonna be giving some phones away. I have obviously a tremendous number of phones. I think I even have more phones coming, so that's another reason to subscribe so you don't miss that. Thank you very much for watching.